Welcome to PB Link Stories. We explore the stories and uncover the business secrets of some of Britain's most successful entrepreneurs.
Duccio Zambrini is not one to stand still. He graduated from the University of Milan with a degree in philosophy, Italian literature and psychology in 1990. He went into the corporate world. During his time at Bloomberg, the corporate news giant, he conducted business meetings, demos and seminars in Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Romanian and Russian. In all, he speaks 13 languages at various levels of fluency. Now, he left the corporate world in 2011, and today he's running a number of businesses, including life coaching, career development coaching, executive coaching, and leadership development. But today, we're going to put under the microscope just one part of his portfolio. Business networking organisations such as the UK Confederation, London Connector, Italian Connector, and Property Connector. He also has, I hear, a property management concern and a new business, which we'll talk about just in a few minutes. Now, what links all these businesses together is a fundamental belief that Duccio espouses, that each business is human to human. I should mention he spends 6 months of each year in Spain and is an avid cyclist. In fact, he's also a cycling coach. I told you he doesn't like to stand still. How does he find the time to do all this? Let's find out. Duccio Zambrini, welcome to PB Link Stories.
Thank you for having me here, and I loved your presentation, honestly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I want to recognize that you've done a tremendous amount of research, and I can see really that you put care and attention into that. So thank you for that.
Not at all. It was great fun, actually, because the more I discovered, the more interesting your story becomes. So, Duccio, how's business? Tell us about your networking businesses. Tell us about your property management concern and this new business. What is that?
Right. So the events company has been running since 2011. And under that umbrella, the London Connector has been run, which is a series of events for entrepreneurs and people who want to connect because they want to socialize. Some of the events are purely business. Some of them, we call them social and business. Property Connector is also part of the events and has been getting stronger and stronger, and is the most popular event we do. Italian Connector is one of the events we do. And then the other one is also Turbo Connector, which is a very basically a very simple event with the elevator pitches for entrepreneurs. So that's one side of the business. I own a couple of properties in London, which I manage, and I also manage other landlords' properties, both short-term and long-term. And I'm also on the board for UK Confederation that you mentioned. UK Confederation is a new venture that was set up in March in UK, is the branch of a very, very large organization of organizations. So they put together different organizations and associations in Italy. Altogether got over about 1 million people as members in Italy. And in UK, for example, you mentioned PB Link. PB Link is one of the members of UK Confederation, some of the Chamber of Commerce and other business associations. It's run entirely as a non-profit association. The membership is a symbolic £50 per year that literally goes to cover the admin cost of onboarding the members. And we run events face-to-face and online. And primarily, we are focused on supporting entrepreneurs in getting connections and doing business. So it's very similar to what London Connector does with a much wider scope. UK Confederation is present in London, in Manchester, in Glasgow, and we are opening up also in other parts of the country. While London Connector is only, as the name says, London. Although one of the plans for the business company that I own is to branch out also in other cities in UK next year, and on this one I would say watch this space. And
Okay.
then yes, the linen company is brand new, literally something that happened in the last 2 weeks, and it goes to show how you never know. I mean, I'm talking for myself actually, but all the businesses I've done, all of them, they never came because I somehow sat down and said, okay, I want to do this and that. There was always something that happened in my life that was either an introduction or with events was just doing events for fun and then realizing there was a business. So there's always been something in my life that naturally brought to the creation of a business or a project or business project, and they all come through networking. So that's the common denominator. And the linen company came from the lady who's been servicing a couple of properties that we have in London for many years, 4 years. And she told me, look, I got this opportunity. We can branch out and serve some hotels. And she came to me for a variety of reasons, and we started doing business together. And you mentioned very well, I believe very much that at the end of the day, everything is human to human.
Mm-hmm.
And trust, personally, I think is the most important ingredient in any relationship, including the business ones. And trust is built by being known, but also there's something that I call transfer credibility, when other people tell to other people about you, and therefore you get to trust them much more.
Yep.
Last month I went to a very nice restaurant here in Spain, and I was mentioning this to people I met for quite some time. The restaurant did not pay me at all. I just enjoyed the experience, and I felt that was something worth sharing. And I guess that partly from what I hear on social media and in real life, that's what brings people to me. The fact that somehow they those who trust me, they trust me for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all personal relationship. But other business I've done in the past for shorter projects, they all had some personal contacts, people I call friends, who approach me and they offer me some joint ventures.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I was at one of, and sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself. In the course of all my research, I missed something, and what I missed was that you are doing events in Glasgow, because I'm in Scotland. So I'm very interested, and I have to get along and sign up with my 50 quid. Doesn't seem like very much money. And I look forward to coming along to one of your events in Glasgow.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, as you know... Sorry, carry on.
No, sorry for interrupting. I must say that actually your research was perfect, and we, as UK Confederation, we open Glasgow, we do things. We haven't done an event yet.
Okay.
And so you had the chance also to be taking part in the first event. But yes,
the ground floor.
UK Confederation is opening a branch in Glasgow, and they will initially cover the whole Scotland, but Glasgow particularly. So, and that actually goes to prove what we just said before, right? So networking, and then things happen that you would not expect to happen. This was not planned at all, and that's a very, very good example that demonstrates what we were just saying before.
Yeah. Now, I was at your one of your events recently, as you know. I saw you briefly at the Global Network UK in Raffles in Chelsea.
Yes.
Of course, I've never been to Chelsea, so there I was in the sort of nightclub that I suppose the people from The Only Way Is Chelsea, whatever that thing is called, that TV, the rich and the famous. Fantastic event, 200 plus delegates from all over the place. I made some great connections. It made me wonder, how did your business networking events fare during lockdown?
It did not fare at all. So lockdown was effectively, first of all, I must say that I miscalculated how long lockdown would be. So when I realized that COVID was spreading, which was in February, I took the decision to actually stop doing events. At that time, we didn't know exactly what the situation was. I didn't feel that it was right to do events. So I said to everybody, guys, we stop events for a while until when we know what's happening. And the first thing I thought was, look, at the end of the day, actually, it's not a bad thing if I take some time off. I never really taken that long. I knew it would be some months. I never taken that long as a sabbatical. I'm quite happy to do it. Let's take the whole summer off, and I'm sure in September we'll go back. Everything will be back to normal. I'm not ashamed to say I completely miscalculated the whole thing. And so initially, I was keeping in touch with some of the regulars at my events. We did a couple of online events. And I start getting a feeling that if the whole thing would carry on longer, the connections and the way we were bonding together would actually be losing and eventually, weaken. And the truth of the matter is that when eventually we started again to events in July this year, I would say 90% of those who came to the first event were people who were completely new, while in the past there was always, I would say, 1/3-ish of regulars as quite regular. Not that they would come to every event, but they would come quite regular, maybe once a month. And then another 15-20% of people who maybe they were not there regular, but they would come maybe once every 2 or 3 months. So effectively the network, although the database obviously was not lost, but it was starting again from scratch. There was also the Brexit thing in between. My network is very international. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I hear most frequently is the diversity of the network. And many of the Europeans that used to come, not many, but a good number of Europeans that used to come to my events, they're no longer in London. So there was a double, it was COVID and Brexit. It was what it was. And the truth of the matter is that actually by having a completely new set of people, was a new community, and the sense of community that we rebuilt is actually stronger now than it was pre-COVID. I don't know exactly why that happened. I guess maybe partly because COVID has impacted the way that we appreciate more the human relationship. Partly also because I must say that in the past I ran this as a business. I used to attend some events, but not all of them. My team was always also there. While since July until November, I've been attending every single event. And in fairness, these are very personal business events. And the human factor and the being there, spreading certain level of energy and vibe makes a difference. And I want to believe that in the same way that the lack of human contact produced a disintegration of the network to some extent, although it's a very strong word, during the pandemic, going back together helped to recreate that community from scratch and recreating new relationship and new dynamics and effectively doing something that's completely new from what we were doing before.
So that's interesting. I expected perhaps you might have done some stuff online during the lockdown, but no, you just stopped and then restarted again. That's very interesting.
Yes, I tried something, and I don't like online events too much. And if you run a business and you don't believe in what you're doing, it will never be successful. So I'm not against online events, but the networking as network, particularly when it comes to meet new people, I personally find that online we don't really get where we should go to build a relationship. And that's myself. Yeah. It works very well for some people. And then obviously because there is me, I guess I was also attracting people who feel the same. So those who are coming to my offline events, they enjoy the offline events much more than the online events. And yes, I mean, you're right. And I was also thinking initially that actually it could be an opportunity to do online events and start something new. But it didn't work in that way. And people were telling me, I mean, I was contacting regulars and they told me, look, I'm doing 3, 4, 5, 6 hours per day on Zoom every single day. Bear in mind also that the majority of my those coming to my events, they are either working in the corporate sector, so most of them they were working from home, or they are entrepreneurs. Particularly those who were working from home, they had a Zoom fatigue, and initially it was good to connect online, but then I reached the point where give me everything, but not one extra Zoom call or whatever. So
I understand. It's interesting. You mentioned PB Link, Polish Business Link earlier, and I know that you work closely with Bart Kowalczyk, who runs that with Anna.
Yes.
And he's very much of your opinion. He did run some online events, but he is very much of the same opinion as you, that the real connections come face to face, or perhaps, as you might say, human to human. And he's done a few surveys as well of the membership of his organization, and they also concur. They also come up with this idea.
Correct.
Which is very interesting. I mean, because I'm in Scotland, and I'm in a kind of a bit of a remote bit of Scotland. It's Fife. It's not really a big city. Mm-hmm. There's advantages for me. But even I recognise the benefit of human to human. I don't have the luxury of just getting on the tube and going across the city. You know, if I go to an event, I have to, usually it takes me an hour at least, and that's the minimum. So yeah, interesting. Now, are you talking to us from Spain at the moment, Duccio?
I'm in Spain at the moment, yes.
And you're there 6 months every year?
Yes, pre-COVID I used to spend 2-3 weeks during winter, come here 2-3 weeks, come back to London for 10 days. And I was doing this more or less between October and May, and then packing up everything in May and staying mainly in London and going back to Italy over, May to October. We'll see if in 2022 I can do the same or not. But that's the thing. And really, I mean, I love staying in Spain. I love the way I can recharge myself. You mentioned that I'm a very avid cyclist. I stay in a part of Spain, which is I think it's fair to say now, it's the Mecca for cyclists. The majority of the professional teams that come here to train. I was out this morning. I saw 4 teams, and that's normal. Teams who do Tour de France. So it's really.
Are you up near the border at the Pyrenees, or?
No, it's actually between Valencia and Alicante. Denia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this area, Denia, Calpe, is where all these teams of professionals come in winter. They just arrived now, and they stay here until January to train and prepare for the season. Mild climate and perfect terrain for cycling. You go flat if you want to stay flat. You go hills. You go mountains. You go everything. A bit windy. It tends to get more wind than I would be happy with, but overall, very good quality of life, and many of the inspirations that I had over the course of the time they happened when I was here. I fill up, then go to London for the events and for the business. I miss London when I'm in Spain, and stay there. Reconnect with people. I must say also that in terms of social life and professional life, London is 100% where I gravitate at the moment. I love Spain, and I love staying in a city that is actually not too big and so on. And at the same time, there's a part of me that is addicted to doing business. I think it's a healthy addiction.
Yeah, sure.
And addicted to the vibe, the opportunity of big city like London, and London in particular. And maybe also got to be used and comfortable in there as well.
So interesting. Good stuff. Yeah, I lived in Spain for a while, and I remember cycling being very big. I lived in a village about 30 miles from Madrid, in the Guadarrama, which is very mountainous.
Yes.
And you'd see these guys in all the proper cycling gear. And this is a long time ago I was there. This is 30 years ago or something. And they had all the gear, the kind of the lycra of the day, and they're going up all these mountains and stopping for lunch, and amazing. Yes, it's a big thing in Spain, so that would just be perfect for you.
Absolutely.
Duccio, we've reached the part of the interview where we ask the key question, the question that we ask all our interviewees on PB Link Stories. What is the secret of business?
I would say that being genuine, following your passion and desire, and this really, I'm not giving to anybody a formula off the shelf. That's purely and solely what worked with me. And being in a mindset where you are able to do what you want, and if it goes wrong, it will not impact on your life. That was I think the magic formula for myself. And I understand that actually is not the case for many people. When they start a business, they may be under pressure to get the bills, to get some revenues, otherwise, the bills will not be paid in 2 or 3 months. For me, that was the secret, the fact that I could literally do whatever I'm doing. And for 10 years, I've done what I've done, started, some things worked, some things didn't work. And I was always in a very comfortable position financially and mentally where, okay, even if it goes wrong, it won't make any difference in my life. And the thing I'm doing, it doesn't really count as work. I do what I do because I like what I'm doing. And then recently, I also find much more gratification in making an impact in other people's life, primarily those working with me. Part of my team is offshore, and there are people who are part of the events company, and I can see the difference that the revenues that we generate and the salary that we pay them make in their life. And there is a tremendous push of energy to really, it really makes me feel good, if that makes sense. So, be an entrepreneur and knowing that I'm doing something that it makes me feel good. I'm not saying it's good, I'm saying makes me feel good. Is also one of the secrets. And I say secret because I didn't know these things when I was working in the corporate world. I only found out these things when I stepped into the entrepreneur world. So they are no longer secret for me. They were a secret of things I didn't know when I started. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So we have three key points here. Follow your passion, follow your desire. Set it up so that if it goes wrong, it doesn't have a major impact on your life. And thirdly, make an impact. For Duccio, is making an impact on the lives of those people he works with. So what he's doing is what makes him feel good, and he's also making others feel good. To me, that sounds like the perfect secret to business.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess with networking as well. I mean, networking, I've learned myself over the years. I was also in the corporate world. I'm now I work for myself. And I've discovered networking there's a BNI saying, the other business club, that networking is like farming, not hunting. So don't go to a networking event and try and nail that sale with a person you've never met before. You need to nurture relationships. It's that human to human stuff you spoke about, making that connection.
Correct.
So but trying to communicate that back up, even in the corporate world, and you've got a pushy boss that wants numbers, bottom line, you're trying to communicate, look, I'm going to this networking event, I'm going to make some connections, and I'm going to see if I can help other people. And maybe 6 months, a year down the line, we might see some return on that. Corporate people don't get that. They don't understand that. But if you work for yourself, you understand that and you say, okay, this is how it works. And then you can sometimes see these are the people who work for themselves, who are taking their time, they're taking it easy. And these are other people on networking event who are being driven by the invisible whip of their employer to get out there and make that sale. Completely different approach. So I can see how you said, these are the things you discovered when you left the corporate world. Well, of course, you're free to. That's when you're free to make these discoveries. Fantastic. Duccio, that's all we have time for today. I could certainly delve into this and keep going for hours, but we're going to draw to a close. And to our listeners, make sure to subscribe to PB Link Stories as we continue to interview inspiring entrepreneurs to discover the secret of business.
Join us at our next event and engage with the business community.